Welcome to today's video. In this video, I'm going to be taking you on a personal tour of Meritage Homes Alamar community, which is in the Rocking K master plan community, one of the top areas and suburbs of Tucson. And in this video, we're going to tour this model behind me, which is one of their most popular floor plans. We're going to talk about Meritage as a builder. I'm going to give you my firsthand feel of the house, what I like, and also I'm going to share with you in this video, I'm going to share with you what incentives this builder is currently offering, and they're pretty incredible. You're going to save thousands of dollars by taking advantage of these incentives if you're in the market for a new build and you're looking at some of the top suburbs around Tucson. So stay tuned for that. You're not going to want to miss it. Let's jump in. So let's take a peek in. As soon as you walk in this house, you just are your attention is directed into this big common area. You do have a nice stop and drop here as you come in off of the front door. You also have a bedroom and ensuite here, but let's just take a look. Let's take a look at what makes this floor plan one of the most popular floor plans that Meritage offers at this location. And the Topaz floor plan being a little over 2,000 square feet, I think one of the very smart things that they did was orient all of this living area in essentially one big room. Because it doesn't matter whether you're entertaining, whether you've got little ones, you know, whether you love to be in the kitchen and you like to be in the kitchen by yourself doing your own thing, but you still want to kind of be connected to who else is in your house. This is an ideal floor plan and setup for that, because people can be sitting here, people can be sitting at the dining room, or people can be all the way in the living room, and honestly, it doesn't feel that far away. It still feels like you can very easily have a conversation. If you're even watching a movie, you can see what's going on the TV. And I think that that is a very functional setup. Now, this kitchen is a really good size. I like the fact that they put gray cabinets. We're finally through that phase. If you remember, we went through a phase 2015, 2016, it was a couple years where every remodel you saw in every new house seemed to have gray walls, some degree of gray on the walls. And man, am I glad that we're past that, because I personally saw that as a phase that was probably short-lived. That was my guess. And I think we're finally through that. It's like the 90s when they had nothing but gold fixtures, you know, above the island, or gold fixtures over the dining room table. I think we're all pretty happy that that phase is behind us. I like the fact that they did the gray cabinets. I think it complements the white walls really nicely. They've got this nice quartz countertop that complements it very nicely as well. And then they have this cool backsplash, which is kind of this like matte finish. It's kind of like a sandstone finish. It does have some brown, some gray. Looks really good with the stainless steel appliances. You've got a fairly large pantry in here as well. Take a peek in here. Nothing too exciting, but they do have it, you know, set up the way that most people would have their pantry set up. Not really. I've looked in a lot of pantries, and that is not what a pantry looks like. Usually bags of chips and stuff everywhere and cans of soup. You know how it goes. So yeah, this main room is very, very functional. I could see myself here with my wife and my kids, you know, us eating dinner either at the island or here. But it's really easy to keep eyes on kids. If you do have kids like myself, we've got two little girls. One of them is just now sitting up, so she's probably gonna be moving here soon, which all the more reason to have a floor plan that is very accommodating to keep an eye on everybody. But again, even if you're an entertainer, I think that this is an incredible space for that as well. Even if it's just two of you guys. You know, one of you is relaxing and the other one is cooking a nice dinner, there you go. You've got a great oriented living space to accommodate that. Before I take you in this area, I think I'm gonna start at the front of the house. So let's take a walk back down to the front of the house here. And I will start at the front to show you where the bedrooms are. Now, as we came off the front door, I'm gonna turn you around here. So front door, and we've got a bedroom entry right off of the front door. So good sized bedroom right now. It's operating as the sales office. So it might look a little weird with a big desk and a screen on the wall, but you can see this little nook. You do have your desk in here. Sorry, not your desk. You have your closet, and then you have your ensuite bathroom, shower tub combo, nice vanity, cabinets that match the cabinets in the kitchen. Decent size. I mean, I always compare the bedroom sizes to can you fit a queen? I feel like a queen, at least for me, is kind of the minimum bed size to which I feel comfortable on. Solo or with two people. Definitely with two people, no smaller than a queen. But I think that bedroom is plenty big for a queen, a nightstand, or two. You might be able to, I'd probably be squeezing it to fit a dresser in there if I'm just being honest. But another look at the kitchen and common area. So this is right off of the garage. This is now the construction office because this is an active model floor plan. But you would come in out of the garage. You've got kind of a stop and drop here, keys, bags, backpacks, you name it. You also have a coat closet here, which is pretty convenient. Right before you take off or when you're headed out, drop your coat in there. So pretty convenient little cove there. As we continue walking, I'll take you over to this area of the house. Now, one thing that I wanted to mention is later in this video, I'm going to share with you the incentives that are currently being offered, and they're pretty incredible. Definitely something that makes a big difference in the consideration of which builder to go with and whether to buy new in general. So I will talk a little bit more about that. You're definitely not going to want to miss that, so stay tuned. Here's a look at the bathroom. So this would be your guest bathroom. Double vanity is an option. I believe they also, standard I believe is a single vanity. Got some shelving in this little pop out, or pop in, I guess you should call it, huh? Pop in. Laundry room right across here. Big laundry room. Got some nice cabinets that complement the wall color in here. A lot more space for storage. And that's a big laundry room. It's definitely big enough where I feel like you'd want some area to fold. So yeah, you got plenty of room. Maybe in this corner you could put like a cabinet, a little like rolling tabletop or something like that to be able to set some clothes, fold some clothes. I don't know how many people fold in their laundry room. Let me know. Do you fold in your laundry room? I wish I had a laundry room big enough. My dream, as weird as it sounds, is to have a laundry room that has enough space to fold so that I can just fold all my laundry. It enters the laundry room dirty and not folded, and then it exits the laundry room clean and folded. I know it's a weird dream, but it is one of my dreams. And my laundry room is currently not big enough to do that. But let me know, do you have a laundry room? Have you had a laundry room that's big enough to do that? And is that one of your dreams too, or is it just me? So now we have two bedrooms, but in between the bedrooms, we have this flex space. This really could be set up the way that it is right now as, I think they call this a teen room, which would make sense if you've got teenagers, one teenager, two teenagers, you know, they've got their spaces, they have a common area. to study, to watch TV, watch movies, hang out with friends. But I think this could also really be a good space for multi-generational living. If you have someone in your family or a loved one with you that's older and they're living with you, they need their own space, they're used to having their own space, this could be an easy setup for them to feel at home. You also have this desk. And then we'll walk into the bedrooms here. If you like baseball, this would be a good room to pick. They've always got the model set up really nicely, which is cool. U of A basketball. University of Arizona is the main college here in Tucson, one of the biggest colleges in the state. 2012 NCAA champions. I'm not a huge baseball fan. I'm just reading I knew that there was a championship that we won at some point, but this is spray foam insulation. In the model, they'll cut this out so that you can actually take a look at what the difference is between traditional batt insulation or sprayed or blown in insulation in the ceiling and the spray foam, because this spray foam insulates not only the roof and the attic, but it also insulates all of the exterior walls as well, which makes a huge difference for a couple reasons. As you would imagine, it makes a big difference in climate control. Spray foam insulation versus traditional batt insulation. They've ran lots of different studies and tests. You're saving a couple $1,000s a year in some cases on your utility bills with spray foam insulation. But in addition to that, you're also getting benefits from bug intrusion, keeping bugs out, and noise. So keeping noise of the exterior out, whether it be traffic or wind or kids playing or neighbors or whatever the case. All right, let's take a look at this bedroom. This is the next bedroom across the way from the teen room. Got some good looking pups up there on the wall. Doberman and a Dalmatian. And again, I'm pretty sure this is a full. Yeah, this isn't a queen, this is a full. So just for reference, full size bed. They do have big nightstands. So yeah, again, definitely you could fit a queen size bed in here. For me, that's kind of the minimum that I need to feel comfortable. I'm pretty tall, over 6'2". So otherwise I just feel like, half my legs are hanging off the bed and I don't have room to stretch out, but they've got a full bed in here, which definitely fits nicely. And you could go a little bit bigger. These are pretty big nightstands, so you could go a little bit smaller with that. Let's take a peek at the rest of the house. So we have a primary bedroom coming up, and there is also some incredible views in this neighborhood that I'll show you in this video. But as we come in the primary, I'll show you what I'm walking into here. So we've got this nice little entry area, good area for some art. Could put a nice piece of furniture there. Could leave it blank. You can do whatever you want with it, but it's definitely a nice spot to add a little bit of an accent. As we walk into the primary here, we've got a big king bed, end tables, nightstands. That bed frame is like a couch. It's like a couch bed frame hugging a king mattress. That's the best way to describe that. That's pretty cool, actually. I wonder how clean that stays. I mean, in a model home, I'm sure it stays pretty clean, but in real life, maybe not. Definitely looks cool. Nice cozy chair there in the corner. If you're a reader, getting your shoes on in the morning, getting ready for a jog, something like that. I'm already going to work on how I would use this. My morning jogs, I'd be sat right there, putting my shoes on, trying to wake myself up. Good sized bedroom. We do have 9-foot ceilings throughout, and the tip of my finger is 8 feet. Oh, as far as I can stretch. There you go. This is an 8-foot opening, and then all the way to the ceiling is 9 feet. So if you're tall, that's important. You know how important that is. I'm tall, and I know that having 9-foot ceilings is kind of a must. So this has good ample sized ceiling height. Dual vanity, you've got a private room for the toilet, which I think is preferable by most people instead of just having it with no door. There's a look at your shower. And then we can't forget this closet. Good sized closet as well. Plenty of space for all your clothes, his and hers, hopefully. Sometimes he has more clothes than she does, or she has more clothes than he does. I think in the case of me and my wife has more clothes than me, but I have more shoes than her. So, not sure if that's just us or whether that's normal. But this was a great little master. Everything feels the flow of this house feels really, really nice. And one thing that I wanted to note is, for me, with my experience as an appraiser for the last 15 years, one of the biggest considerations for me, and I think one of the values that I try to bring to clients that work with us, is considering not only what they need right now when they're looking to buy a house, but also taking time to understand what their long-term goals are and potential for reselling this house down the line. 7 to 8 years is how long a homeowner owns a house today. Now, you could be on the higher end of that, 10, 12 years. You could be on the lower end of that, 4 or 5 years. Either way, I think it's really important to have an exit strategy. And part of that exit strategy, or at least having the conversation when you're buying, helps, because it can help you plan, and that planning can mean that you end up netting more money when you sell. One of my favorite features about this house as it relates to that conversation is specifically the functionality and flexibility of this floor plan. 2,000 square feet, I think, is kind of the sweet spot for most buyers finding the most flexibility. So we achieve the highest price for a house when it appeals to the most buyers. And 2,000 square feet is kind of that sweet spot where I think most buyers find, if they're looking for something a little bit smaller than 2,000 is still functional and it's still within the realm of price range that they're looking at. While also people who are willing to pay more and maybe accustomed to a little bit higher square footage, with the right floor plan that is functional like this, they would be willing to go down to 2,000 square feet. This having 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, the flex space, essentially 2 living areas, really adds a lot of functionality to this home. And from a resale perspective, whether you live in it for 3 years or 30 years, I think that is definitely a very important consideration. All right, so one of the most important things to consider in this equation of resale versus new builds is the payment, the monthly payment. But I think for you to really make the best decision, you need to have all the pieces of the equation. Now, if you're just paying cash, then that's one thing. I think it's a much easier equation based on price if you're paying cash, because it's, say, $430,000 for this house or this floor plan here, but most buyers are financing. And if you're financing, this is where it gets pretty interesting and something really important to consider, because at the current price, if you were to take, say, $400,000 and you were to calculate just the principal and interest, which is part of your monthly mortgage payment, that's part of it. Principal, interest, taxes, and insurance is generally regarded as what your mortgage payment is. Now, because taxes and insurance is something that varies depending on each property, I'm gonna leave that out, and I'm just gonna compare principal and interest, because this is really gonna give us an example of what the mortgage difference is likely going to be based on the incentives that are currently offered. Now, at the current incentives that they offer for this property, which is called a 3-2-1 buy down on specific models, they're buying down the rate the first year to 1.99%, which is insanely lower than the current market rate for a 30-year fixed mortgage. First year at 1.99, second year at 2.99, and then third year at 3.99. Now get this, fourth year, it goes to 4.99 and it stays at 4.99 for the rest of the time that you have that mortgage. So for the remaining 26 years. Now, I think to put this into perspective, on the first year, you'd save $1,184 per month. That's almost $1,200 per month that you're saving, right? So that's $15,000 a year that you save the first year. Second year, you're gonna save $976 per month on a house like this with this type of incentive versus a resale home. And again, this is important if you're financing. If you're not and you're paying cash, a little bit different. But certainly, if you're like the rest of us and you're planning on financing, this is pretty important information to consider. Third year at 3.99%, you're gonna be saving $753 per month. So this is what's important. Over the first 3 years, you would save approximately $34,986 in the first 3 years. So when we're looking at a price difference between a resale versus a new build and your financing, I think this is a critical thing to consider. And this is a good example of what can be accomplished in the new build world. Now, that's just in the first 3 years. After you've saved the almost $35,000 in the first 3 years compared to a comparable new build, a new build that's very similar to this in square footage, area, overall floor plan, as similar as I could possibly get it in today's market. Certainly if you and I were out touring houses and this fit the build of a house you were looking at, we could go look at this resale home and it would be a pretty close alternative. So starting on the fourth year, you'd save $6,196. And that would be every year. You would save that $6,200 approximately for the life of the loan. So now you've got something really important to consider in this whole resale versus new build equation, because as you can see, it gets a little bit more complicated. And that's why I wanted to make this video. Hopefully this is valuable for you to understand all of the dynamics and number crunching that can go into making the right call, whether it's a new build versus resale, because you've got a lot of different things to consider in addition to just the price that is paid. All right, so let's take a peek outside. Rocking K is definitely known for some of its spectacular views. And to be honest with you, this view is not that unique. This area is sprinkled with tons of home sites that have a view very similar to this. So if you love views, if you love big mountains and you plan on using an outdoor space and want something pretty to look at, I think this is one of the main reasons that Rocking K is winning in so many people's minds right now as a spot that they want to buy a house. Right now, Meritage is offering some pretty incredible incentives as well. And for specific homes, they're offering what's called a 3-2-1 buy down, which essentially means that your rate starts at 1.99% for the very first year. Then the next year it jumps up to 2.99%. Third year it jumps up to 3.99%. And for the fourth year, all the way through the remaining 26 years, it's at 4.99%. Now, they're gonna save thousands of dollars on your mortgage payment in the first 3 years compared to what your mortgage would be if you were paying a traditional market interest rate today. So I think that's an incredible savings to consider. On top of that, you're gonna get your 10-year structural warranty from Meritage Homes. You're gonna get the build quality that they're known for. You get a brand new house. Nobody's ever lived in it before, and it comes with all of the peace of mind that you would hope for buying something brand new from a great reputable builder that stands behind their product. So if you're considering new builds, and specifically a suburb outside of Tucson, Rocking K, Meritage Homes, Alamar is the name of this subdivision. If you have any questions at all, feel free to get in touch with me And keep in mind, incentives change quite a bit. So if you want an updated look at incentives, we have the inside scoop because we're working with so many buyers in this area, and I know what the builders are willing to offer in a true negotiation. So if you want that inside scoop, grab my contact information. I'll put it on screen right here, but it's also in the description. Grab that, let's get connected. Call, text, email. You can even schedule a free Zoom consult so we can get face-to-face and meet that way. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up for me to help me out. And until next time, I hope to see you around the neighborhood.